Hey, welcome back to another ballistics gel test. Today we're shooting actually a target ammo into ballistics gel, so this should be pretty fun. We're shooting Winchester's USA Ready 125 grain open tip out of the 300 Blackout. And here's the box for that Winchester USA Ready 125 grain 300 Blackout load. Here is your factory literature if you would like to stop, pause, and read all that. There's your velocity and energy information. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ammo out of the box real quick. So nice and dingy per standard with Winchester ammo. Let's take a look at one. It's blotchy brass, doesn't affect functionality, it just looks bad. And there is your open tip right there, little hollow point. Let's see how it does. And my test rifle today is my Ruger American Ranch, chambered in 300 Blackout, of course. It's got a 16-inch barrel up top. I've got a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope. And coming on back, I've got one of my 20-round magazine cuffs. Pop that open, you've got a 20-round magazine close at hand. Really helps turn the Ruger American Ranch rifle into the perfect truck gun or camp gun. Coming around to the other side, I've got my wild boar design on there. Check out my website, masonleather.com. I would absolutely love to make you one. It'll be linked in the description and the pinned comment. We'll be taking 3 shots from 100 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description. So let's go ahead and shoot it. And we are down here at the blocks after shooting that Winchester USA Ready training and practice 125 grain open tip ammo out of the 300 Blackout. And I have some very surprising results to show you guys. So we captured all 3 bullets and they are all perfectly mushroomed, like they're hunting bullets, but they're not. So let's go ahead and look at penetration. It looks like we got about 17.25 inches, 17.5 inches, and 18 inches of penetration. So very, very consistent. I can't wait to dig these out and look at them and measure weight retention and expansion. But let's go ahead and go over to the front block as well. And it looks like we did get some wound cavity once expansion started pretty early on, between about the 2-inch and about the 6 to 7 inch mark right there. So this is a very surprising result from this training ammo. And let's go ahead and take a look at the velocities for that Winchester USA Ready 125 grain open tip bullet out of the 300 Blackout. Our high was 2256, our low, if I can get it, was 2222. And an average was 2,236 feet per second. All right, y'all, every once in a while, we get a real surprise in these ammo tests. And these Winchester USA Ready 125 grain open tip bullets out of the 300 Blackout are just that. I am extremely surprised with the performance of these bullets. As you can see, they held together, they expanded really well. These look like some sort of a high-end bonded hunting bullet, but they're not. These are touted as practice ammo. So first we'll talk about weight retention. We saw 106, 112, and 115 grains for an average of 111 grains retained weight. That's 89% weight retention. That's up there. I'm really, really happy with that. And now on to expansion. We had extremely consistent expansion with each of the 3 bullets. We had 0.6 inches, 0.61, and 0.66 inches respectively for an average of 0.62 inches expanded diameter. And that works out to 2x expansion. That is really, really good. Now on to velocity. Our high velocity was 2256, our low was 2222, and our average was 2236 versus the factory build velocity of 2185. So we came in 51 feet per second faster than the factory build velocity. That is a trend with 300 Blackout ammo. It seems to be loaded a bit hotter than represented. And keep in mind, I'm shooting these out of a 16-inch barrel, so I'm not even using a long barrel, and we're getting really good velocities. And now on to penetration. We saw 17.25, 17.5, and 18 inches of penetration, and I'm just going to round up to the nearest inch. Our average was 18 inches of penetration. That's actually really good. So I don't have any of the videos live yet, but I've tested quite a few 243 Winchester loads, and this is actually right on par with a lot of really respected 243 deer loads. All right, y'all, every once in a while, we get an ammo that is very surprising. It performs completely not like we thought it would, and that is what happened with this Winchester USA Ready 125 grain open tip load. So this is a training load, a practice load. It's not marketed as a hunting bullet, but boy did it perform like a hunting bullet. This was so interesting. So I got my cheat sheet. Retained weight 89%, a bit lower than some other 300 Blackout loads that I've tested, but this bullet is also going quite a bit faster. Expansion, 2x expansion, but not only that, it was extremely consistent expansion all the way around the perimeter of the bullet. We got beautiful, perfect mushrooms with this stuff. And this is like an open tip training bullet. It's from what I understand, it's not a bonded hunting bullet, but it's acting like it. Velocity wise, now this is a little bit lighter of a bullet than some of the other tests I've done. I've done a lot of 150 grain 300 Blackout tests. This is 125 grain, so we got some more velocity, and we actually came in really fast. We came in 51 feet per second faster than factory spec, a trend that I'm seeing with 300 Blackout. It tends to perform faster than what the box says, a pleasant surprise. Really happy with that. Penetration wise, 18 inches on average, and the penetration was very consistent across shots. 17 and a quarter, 17 and a half, and 18. They are all within 3/4 of an inch of each other. Also, expansion, they were all very similar. There was a very small range between what expanded the most and the least. These bullets performed very well, in my opinion. And something else I want to point out with penetration, you might say, well, 18 inches isn't that much compared to a lot of the other ammo you've tested. Even other 300 Blackout loads you've tested have gone quite a bit deeper. But something you haven't seen yet on my channel, unless you're watching this video weeks after I've posted it, this is very similar penetration to a lot of very well-renowned 243 Winchester deer hunting loads. I've tested a lot of them. At the time this video is going live, those videos aren't live yet, but I have tested them, so I know the results. They're probably live when you're watching this, if you're watching it weeks later. But that's about what I saw with a lot of 243 loads in the 95 and 100 grain bullet weight classes, around that 18-inch mark of penetration. And if a 100 grain 243 load is good for deer, then I don't know why this wouldn't be either. The only caveat to that being, kinetic energy, of course. This bullet isn't going anywhere near as fast as a 100 grain 243. It's not going to hit with as much energy, but across the board, it hits all the other marks. So I don't know about you, but for me, this is actually my favorite 300 Blackout load that I have tested. It's affordable. It performed incredibly well. It's acting like a hunting bullet. I'm very surprised. If I'm going to be hunting with 300 Blackout, I'd be very tempted to use this ammo and not something more expensive. I have some big news. Lots of you have emailed me or commented how much value you get out of my videos. And you've asked me, how can you be a part of this and help support the channel? Well, I got to work, and now I have a way. I've created a Patreon account where you can join me in helping our fellow hunters. Click the link in this video's description and watch my Patreon welcome video, where I describe to you how your help will impact this channel and our community of hunters as a whole. And when you join me on Patreon, you'll get a lot more than I can give you here on YouTube. You'll have to go watch that welcome video linked in the description to find out the details. I'll see you there. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, check out my website masonleather.com and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. The link is in the video description. And check out my channel for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests.